I have some old styrofoam insulation here left over from a previous show, which I am going to turn into a prop archery target. I've taken two pieces of scrap 2x3s and squared them up so they are exactly the same, and I'm going to use them as the interior of the target. So I'm going to be cutting them down into much smaller pieces and gluing them inside. I cut the 2x3s into smaller sections and I'm going to glue them together, and this will become the center of the target. I need wood there because I'm going to be drilling holes into it to hold the arrows. I'm going to cut this 2x3 into little wedges that I have marked here on the bandsaw. So now I'm going to draw a circle. It's going to be 22 inches in diameter. So I'm just taking a scrap piece of wood and I drilled 2 holes in it. And I'm just going to go around and mark with the pencil. And I will have to do the exact same thing on the other piece of styrofoam as well. I divided the circle up into 16 different sections, and I've put each one of these wedges just a little bit beyond where the circle will be, and that is so that eventually when I have all the sections glued together, I can put it on my bandsaw and cut a circle through all the pieces, and I'll have a nice round target. Now the reason that I have these wedges fatter here is because I'm going to be using that area to staple some fabric around both sides. So now I'm just going to drill a center pilot hole all the way through this block so I can align the circles. Now I'm ready to just go ahead and put some contact cement down every place that there will be a block. I'm going to do it kind of in a wider area than where the block itself goes, so when I line them up I'm guaranteed to hit the surface. I also went ahead and put a big glob of the contact cement in the middle, which is where that block is going to go. So the next step is to put contact cement on all of the individual pieces and the block. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes since I applied the contact cement, and interestingly, the cement has kind of eaten away at the styrofoam here. I had that happen before when I was just simply putting latex paint on some styrofoam and it kind of dissolved or ate it away. But I'm hoping that that won't affect this too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these blocks and squeeze them into place, making full solid contact. They seem to be going on nicely. I forgot to put some cement there. I don't know what I'll do about that. Maybe let's put a little dab of glue. Now it's time for the center block. I put a screw that goes all the way through so that I can align the hole with the center. And then I'll take that screw out. I have a matching piece, and in this case I'm going to put the screw here straight in, and then everything should line up. And I have to be careful not to break the styrofoam. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some boards on top that I can press really hard on and know that it's going to stay nice and flat. So this board's pretty heavy in its own right. I want complete contact. And then of course, in the center I need to have complete contact as well. So now, I'm going to take this over to my bandsaw and cut it by hand. I do have a circle drawn on the other side, so I'll just do it by freehand. It'll be good enough. This is, after all, medieval times. In the show, Robin Hood splits Caspar's arrow in half. So this is one of the arrows which is going to be put into the target. So I'm going to cut this all the way down the full length as if it was divided in half. And I want to cut it in such a way that I end up with a red feather on each side. So I attached a little board here to support the end as I make this cut. So after I sawed Caspar's arrow in half, I went ahead and wrapped some tape around the bottom here. I never really cut all the way through, I just stopped right about there, but I put some tape around this to make sure it couldn't split anymore. And then I went ahead and sanded down a sharp point on Robin Hood's arrow and just kind of wedged it in. I put some glue in there, and the tape's going to make sure that that doesn't come apart. Now, in the musical, they're having a archery contest, and the first couple of shots they end up tying with each other. Now I'm going to cover this with fabric, but I needed to put the holes in first. So for the first shot, Caspar ends up having a nice shot close to the middle. It'll stick in like that. And then Robin Hood's is over here. And they end up being an equal distance from the center. The next time, of course, Caspar has a great shot and he hits the bullseye. So now it's going to go right into the center. Okay. And now that arrow is like that. But Robin Hood outdoes him. And we're going to use this arrow, which is fatter, so I had to make a bigger hole. And it also kind of goes this direction in it. I wiggled the drill back and forth to get that. And then you press that in. I'll have to work with this to get it exactly how I want it to be. Now we have the effect of a split arrow going into the target. So my next task is to go ahead and spread some fabric over both sides of this, stapling it in right there. I have some old felt that used to be on the back of my piano to kind of make the piano softer when I was a kid. Guess my parents didn't think I played too well.
In part 2, I'll be attaching the felt and then using an interesting method to paint it. Thanks for watching.